Actually, three different things. First of all, the TV show Lost was kind of an inspiration, and Stephen King's novel The Stand I thought about a lot. And if you look in the books, you'll see shout-outs to both. For example, if you speak Spanish, you'll notice that in the map there's, at the beginning of the books, there's the Stefano Rey National Forest. And if you speak Spanish, you might figure out that Stefano Rey is Spanish for Stephen King. So it's a deliberate nod to my literary hero there. And of course, the name of the town is Perdido Beach, Perdido being lost. So that was also, again, a very deliberate shout-out to them. And then, of course, there's the more obscure inspiration that comes from Disney. In every Disney movie, the first thing they do is kill off the parent. The mother's always dead. Sometimes you'll see, maybe there'll be a father, but the mother's always dead. Except, interestingly enough, in The Princess and the Frog, and everybody was like, well, that's so groundbreaking because it had an African-American heroine, princess. And I thought, no, that's not the surprise. The surprise, the shock was, her mother was alive. I couldn't believe it. I was watching a Disney movie and Mom was there. So I thought, well, if Disney makes such success out of killing a parent, a single parent, I'm going to get rid of all of them. I'm just going to make a clean sweep. It was an absolute destruction of all adults. Actually, it is. It's based very, very loosely on Pismo Beach, California. That's spelled, if you're looking at Google Earth or something, P-I-S-M-O. And if you do go on Google Earth or Google Maps or something, and you go to Pismo and you scan up the coast, you'll see a power plant, a nuclear power plant up there that is the Diablo Canyon reactor. And so that was kind of the area that I went with. And I never stated explicitly, but I'll mention that Santa Barbara is south of there.
I've been there.
Have you?
Yeah.
So I laid the groundwork. So yeah, people can kind of look at it, oh yeah, it's somewhere around Pismo Beach. But it's Perdido Beach is a much smaller town than the real Pismo is. Oh yeah, you have to get emotionally attached. To a certain extent. I even like the bad ones. Although, I get fan mail or Facebook and things from girls going, oh, I really love Drake. And I'm kind of flabbergasted by that. And I say, it's really don't date people like that. I shouldn't really have to tell you this, but if you meet a guy who's a psychopath and has a 10-foot tentacle arm, no. You can't save him, believe me. So yeah, I become emotionally attached to them, and when I have to kill one off, sometimes I feel a little badly about it. But I tend to kill them off when I'm not emotionally attached to them, because they stop being useful to me. So I'm like, you're dead. I always write outside. We lived in Italy for a while, and I wrote outside there. We lived in North Carolina. I wrote outside there. And in the States, too, I actually write in my backyard. And it's kind of an enclosed yard with high stone walls all the way around it, to keep people out. And I sit back there with lots of coffee and prop my feet up and put on a hat so I don't get skin cancer, we hope. And then type away for a couple hours, and that's it. I don't know why, but I used to work in coffee shops a lot, go to Starbucks or places like that. But I don't do that anymore, so I just like my yard for some reason. So I go out there and I put on really loud music, usually when I'm writing a first draft. I've got headphones on and an occasional cigar, and a frequent cup of coffee. Yeah, my favorite authors. Well, geez, it's terrible to ask a writer that because we love so many people. The most influential for me probably was the guy I already mentioned, Stephen King, who was nice enough to say nice things about the book. Also, he's a fan of the book, which is very cool. There's nothing like having your, I won't say childhood hero because he's not that much older than I am. But having some personal hero of yours like that go, yeah, good job, thumbs up. So that was very cool. He's one of my favorite authors. I'm really fond of Patrick O'Brian, who's a British author. Wrote what to me, because I'm interested in writing a series, and his construction of his series, the Aubrey Maturin novels, is just really interesting because he'll leave off a book at a point sometimes you just go, really, that's the end? And so you get to go, wait a minute. So he was very brave about how he constructed his series, and just a terrific writer and terrific researcher. I'm much less deeply knowledgeable about anything than he was about his subject area, put it that way. The countdown was actually forced on me by my first editor for Gone, Michael Stearns, who said, you know, I think what you need is a countdown. And I went, oh man, really? Because, first of all, the purpose of it is to both ratchet up tension and to make you wonder what the countdown is counting down to. Because Gone has so many plot threads. It can have 8, 9, 10 different plot threads going on. And at the beginning, you see that we're counting down to something, but you don't know what we're counting down to. And that's the, and then we ratchet that up. What is it I'm supposed to be looking at? What am I supposed to be paying attention to? So it has that purpose. But I'll tell you that as a person who is utterly incapable of mathematics in like any form, that doing the countdown is a huge pain in the butt because it involves counting. And if hours were all, if they had 100 minutes each, I could do it, probably. But the fact that they have 60 minutes each, and then I have to kind of count backward, and then kind of count forward to make sure it makes sense, and I go back. And this goes on for days. It can take me 4 days to do the countdown. And that's not counting the fact that sometimes I have to move chapters around because they no longer make sense if I have to put them in a concrete sequence like that. So it's the bane of my existence, honestly. I construct characters sometimes, well, I'll tell you what, this is the first time in my life, in all the books I've written, where I've used 2 real people in the books to inspire me. One is my daughter, who became the kind of emotional inspiration for Brianna. And if you saw Julia at sparring at Taekwondo, you'd understand. And then the Computer Jack character is very clearly my son Jake, who has been a computer prodigy since he was 4. For example, the presentation I just did, Jake did all the technical on that, does our websites and all that kind of stuff, and has made films for me, like this one. So those are 2 real people, but generally, you don't want an answer this long, but let me give you the short version of it. Sometimes the character is what the character needs to be, which sounds cryptic, but I need somebody to fill a particular role. And it's very much like casting for Hollywood or something. You think, I need a person who, you know, and I define them in terms of what they do. I need a person who will be like this kind of person, do that. So then I work back from there, construct them, figure out what they look like. Sometimes, a lot of times I get pictures off the internet. I just search around until I get a face I like, and then I start fleshing out their lives. How do they dress? What do they like? What's their hobby? Where would they shop if they were shopping? What kind of music would be on their iPod if they were listening to music? So I do all of that, and then eventually they kind of cross the line into a certain reality. So they start off as just a picture or a vague sort of sketch, and then as you write them, they start becoming real. And this sounds so BS-y writer, which I hate to do. But at some point they kind of take over their own story. So a lot of times, you know, I don't write Sam. Sam kind of writes himself. You know, and there he is. He's in that situation, and I know what Sam would do. Of my own books, I'm fond probably of Hunger. Most so far because it was the hardest. And it was hard because my editor made me chop off the last 200 pages and rewrite them. And you know how they're very, like I say, very complex in terms of their structure, in terms of their plot. So, you know, you bring them all, you create all your plot lines, you have to bring them all to the shattering conclusion in Hollywood parlance. So, having done that once with Hunger, and he looked at it and said, you know, that's not working for me. And I said, I know, you're right, and I've known it for months now, but I just didn't want to fix it. So I had to go and chop that off, right? And now I've got like stumps, and I have to bring it all to a completely different conclusion. So I've already got, you know, I'm saving 300 or 400 pages, and I've got to bring it to a whole new conclusion. So the difficulty level of it was such that you get a certain affection for things that you think, man, this is impossible. And then if you manage to do it, you feel pretty proud of it. So I guess Hunger. It was a really long answer, wasn't it?
It's fine.